Hey, what is up, people? This is Johnny, and today's Pokemon theory, we're going to be talking about were Pokeballs originally intended to steal other trainers' Pokemon. So you may be wondering, asking yourself, Johnny, what do you mean that Pokeballs were meant to steal other trainers' Pokemon? Well, I'm talking about the earlier development of the Pokeball. The Pokeball could have a possibility that it was meant to steal other trainers' Pokemon. Maybe some scientists or some evil group decided to develop the device so they could steal people's Pokemon. If you look in the history of Pokemon, in the universe, in the history of the Pokemon used to roam freely. They didn't have to go into the Pokeballs, and they would still fight with their trainers. Pokemon would gain loyalty to a trainer, they would gain a bond, a friendship, and then eventually they would probably fight together in a battle when that Pokemon had the trust of the trainer. And the Pokemon never had to go into the Pokeball. It was always like a pet. It would always be there for you, and it'll battle for you in battles. If you look at the Pokemon Wars out of the Lucario movie, I believe, you can see trainers and their Pokemon in suits with armors without having to take out their Pokemon in a Pokeball. You would see them fight along together in a war with the Pokemon, and no Pokemon will come out of a Pokeball. And so maybe the theory is that maybe later on some evil guy in the Pokemon world decided to develop a device to steal other people's Pokemon. Pokemon could be strong, so they started developing the Pokeball, and they would start beating other trainers, and they would steal their Pokemon. Since they were set free, they were basically wild, since no Pokeball had a registration. There were no computers or anything to register their Pokemon. These thieves would come out and steal the people's Pokemon once they developed the Pokeball. Maybe it was used for that intention, evilly. So as you know, in the Pokemon anime, Team Rocket always tries to steal other people's Pokemon. That could lead to a theory that there were several different devices that were developed before the Pokeball, or it could have been the Pokeball, the first device, because they could try to steal the Pokeballs. If you remember, Mewtwo had the ability to steal people's Pokemon in the movie as well. He stole Ash's Pokemon, I believe Brock's and Misty, and several other trainers that were in that movie. He stole them. And I believe that Team Rocket also developed like a Pokeball. I don't know if it was the Master Ball that would steal other trainers' Pokeballs as Pokemon as well. So there was all this stuff that you can see in the Pokemon world. I believe even Team Flare came up with a suit that would allow you to steal other people's Pokemon in the Pokemon world. So if you look at all that evidence, the Pokeballs may have been the first device that was successfully created to steal people's Pokemon. But it probably got it out of hand in the Pokemon world. This probably really got out of hand that people had to get the Pokeballs. You know, they can always get the prototypes from the bad people or anything if they battle them or beat them and the Pokemon doesn't go into the Pokeball. So they always get the prototype, and then they had to invent a technology where the Pokeballs would be able to be registered to each trainer. So they kept developing computer registrations with the Pokemon and everything. They learned about the coding or whatever the Pokeball does when a Pokemon goes inside. They learned all of that information they needed to know about the Pokeball, and then they made a system to register that this Pokemon is for that Pokemon, for that trainer, I mean. So that's how the system started getting even better and better, registering everybody's Pokemon. They developed a better system so nobody would be able to steal the people's Pokemon anymore. And since those Pokemon were registered in to a trainer now, they wouldn't be considered wild. So as time went on and on and on, stuff got developed so people wouldn't get their Pokemon stolen. And that's my theory about it, of what I think, that maybe that's the reason why Pokeballs were the first devices to steal other people's Pokemon. Thanks for watching this theory, and I hope you enjoyed it. Leave it in the comment section, what do you think about this theory? Also, if you haven't checked out some of my previous videos, make sure to click on those two boxes in the middle so you can go ahead and check them out.
Bye.